All right, welcome in this video I have something insane to show you, which is two phenomenal ways to rapidly build your own website using the power of AI. Now, whether or not you're a complete newbie and have never designed a website, have always outsourced that work to someone else and you're looking to build your own site, or if you're a seasoned professional and you're looking for speed and performance, no matter which way you're going, this video is for you. So I'm going to dive right in here and I'm going to show you how quickly you can build a website with the power of AI using a phenomenal tool called 10Web. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so first and foremost, what we're going to want to do is to get started for free. So go ahead and click that button and get your account set up. All right, so let's go ahead and dive inside of the dashboard here. The first and foremost thing you're going to see is this kind of blank canvas here. We have a couple of different options to get started. We can create a website, we can migrate your website into 10Web, and of course you can optimize the website because there are a few different types of options. So number one, if you're going to create your website from scratch, you can just generate it from a blank canvas. Of course, you could use designer-made templates that are supplied, and you can also recreate a website with AI. So if you go out and you find something, as I'm going to show you in this tutorial, that you really like in terms of structure, you don't have to go pay someone thousands of dollars to recreate it for you. And also, you don't even have to go out and try and buy that template yourself. You can just recreate it using the AI generator. So it's super, super cool, and it will be done in literally minutes. No need to wait. Now, the other thing we could do here is migrate the website. You can pull your website into 10Web and host it there and do optimization. So you get access to all the plugins, the speed, performance, all that kind of stuff that's on the back end, which we'll talk about. The other thing you can do is to simply optimize your website. So you can use plugins. You can optimize the website's front end to get that 90+ page speed score, which obviously is very, very important to Google these days. How fast does your site load? And of course, does it pass those core web vitals, which is going to be a very important ranking factor here on out, especially toward the end of 2023. So increasing your website rankings as a result. So we have a couple of different options here. The other thing you're going to see here is that we can invite users to collaborate on projects as well. And of course, when you exceed the amount of websites that you have, I have an agency level membership here, you get extra reduced rates for adding additional websites in here. So all bonus stuff. You have chat icon here, information, readily accessible customer service. And that is what's fantastic about 10Web amongst many other things. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and create a website. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Now we're going to pop up here into the installation screen. Now it's very important to understand here that this platform is essentially WordPress. So some of you are wondering, what is this? Is it a separate type of builder? No, it is not. You are building a WordPress website. So it functions exactly like WordPress. You can export WordPress out if you're going to take your site and move it somewhere else. So no worries about being locked in. The only thing you do have to make sure you understand is that it is Elementor based. So Elementor is a system for designing websites with different plugins and widgets and so forth. So if you design something using Elementor and you export it and you move it somewhere else where you don't have those plugins installed and those have access to those widgets, things are going to get a little funky. So that's the only thing that you need to know. So we can design a single WordPress website. We can also do a multi-site site. This is a bit more complicated. Those of you who are website designers, agencies, have a little bit more technical knowledge, understand why you would do subdirectories and subdomains and so forth, but those are all options in here. So just starting simple, we would use a WordPress website. You can title your site. We can choose the location and the data center. Now, obviously, this is going to be important for speed. If we drop down here, we have a lot of different options in terms of locations. Are you predominantly on the West Coast? Are you on the East Coast? Are you central? And obviously different countries as well. So you want to pick a server that is close to you. Okay, here what I'm going to do is just go ahead and select, I think I saw it right there, Los Angeles. And you can create your subdomain name. Now, this is not super critical, whatever it is, because you'll be able to add in your own domain into this. Obviously, you're going to be using a custom domain. We don't want to be using open-bullfrog-10web.site because that is not going to be an SEO-friendly name and URL. So it doesn't matter. This is mostly just for our ability to get into it and to set things up. So we could create whatever you want there. And obviously I would probably take whatever your custom domain name is and just plop that in there at .10web.site. But of course you could link up your custom domain afterward, or you can do it right from the get-go. It's up to you. And just like creating a brand new WordPress website, you drop your admin username and your password in there. And of course you can generate a password as well and then hit create. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and I'll see you on the next scene. All right, so let's look at how to create the website with AI. So we need to actually answer some questions so that the software can generate content and images. So we need to pick a business type. So as we scroll through here, we have a bunch of different types of options: digital agencies, advertising. Let's scroll through and see if we can find something. So for example, we got CBD there, books and publishers, home and decor. That's an interesting one. What I'm looking for is kind of my usual, which is tree removal services. So let's see what we got here. We got gym and fitness, yoga, coffee shop. There's a lot of good options here. Let's go landscaping. Okay, so I'm going to choose that. That's going to be pretty close to tree removal service. So I'm going to click next, and it's going to ask me what the company name is in here. We're going to just go to do Los Angeles tree removal and describe the company. The company is a Los Angeles-based tree removal and landscaping company. Okay, so we'll put that in there. Get better results by adding more detailed content. You can mention target audience, industry, and how you're unique. So there's an opportunity here to enter in that USP information. We focus on single-family homes and provide outstanding customer service at competitive pricing. Okay, so let's just start with that. Then we're going to click next. And now we have 3 main services or features that you provide. Okay, so obviously we're going to do some services here. So we can go tree stump removal. We can say that we also offer landscaping services, and perhaps maybe something else that we also do with landscaping is fencing, fence installation. Okay, so then we're going to click next, and let's see, we've got some additional, we could put company email address in there. Obviously you want to put that, the company phone number, so that we can say 333-333-2333. There you go, and optional address. Okay, so we put that stuff in there, and then we click next, and now we have a tone of voice of the content. It can be informal and formal. Because this is a business, I am going to put formal. Let's finalize it, and then let's see what we get. So look at how fast this process is. I just want to call your attention to that and how amazing AI is these days. You literally have to have no skill at doing anything related to coding, website creation, or anything else. And we're just ripping out a website that is probably going to look absolutely amazing. So I'm going to let that spin for a second, and we'll check it out, see what we get. All right, so everything is done processing, so we're going to take a look at what we have created here. Let's go ahead and start with the About page. So let's click on that, and here we are. Okay, so we have a nice looking website designed here with a logo. We have home services, about, etc. And we have the starting here with the mission statement. Now, mind you, this is the About page, so it has not filled in every piece of content for us. We still have to actually go in here and update things. But the layout is exactly what we want. So up here we start at the top, we have a mission statement, and then we're going to have an image over there, and then we're going to have our team. So names, picture, etc., and happy customers. So this is going to be a testimonial section here. And it's filled in some of the content for us. Our commitment to exceptional customer service and competitive pricing, etc. And we have a newsletter section here, which we obviously would change the call to action there. For a landscaping company, we would probably want to have a direct quote. So good looking page. Let's look at the services page and let's see what it's done for us. There we go. So again, consistent header logo. And then as we scroll down here, it has entered in the services. Now, mind you, this is a very generic, low-level version of this because I didn't put in a whole ton of content. But you could see that it's already done a pretty solid job so far with the limited amount of stuff that I have put in there. So professional tree stump removal services, it's got that in there. It has the expert fence installation services, and it pulled together a image for me. And residential landscaping services. So we've got some lawnmowers, etc. that we've put in there. We'll probably update those images, but everything is in place for where it needs to go. And then we have our testimonial section in there, and again, the repeat call to action. Okay? So, and these are all linked, by the way. So if we click on this or hover over this, it is already created the / professional tree stump removal services. So it's got the URL structure correct, and that's what we want. And let's take a look at some of this other one. So those are the individual pages. So let's look at that one. So as we go to this one, we can see that AI, by the way, is still working on generating good images from prompts. So you see that that is not a great looking lawnmower right there. It looks a little disturbing, I would say. But we know that we can find better images for this. But again, why I look at this is these things will continue to improve. But what we do know is that that is the placeholder and where we want it to be. We have a call to action button right there. We have a description, and this is where we're going to stick our description. We have key concepts here. This obviously would be relabeled, and user testimonial. Okay, and then we have our call to action again. So again, you see that all of our pages are set up properly, and we just need to go in and modify our content. And down here we have our social icons, we have everything that we need. And these pages should be all linked up already. So let's click on the contact, and that's already set up for us as well. Contact page looks good, has questions, it has the correct information, and of course it has a Google map that is live, which is what we want for SEO purposes, and it has created a form for us. And again, call to action down at the bottom. Okay. So it looks pretty good, and if I had done a better job on the front end of putting more content information in there, we probably get some better outputs here. So obviously you need to do that with your specific business. And of course we can continue using the AI writer that is included inside 10Web to update these sections per our preferences. But this is as fast as it gets, people, in terms of getting together a brand new looking website. But I still want to show you another insane option for building a website if you want something modeled exactly based upon something you've seen already that you love. So let's take a look at how to do that. And I'm actually going to show you the coolest part, I think, of 10Web, which is to be able to clone or model any URL or anything that we see online, and we can pull it in. Now, this has a number of implications. Number one, we can actually get access to, for example, a website that we have been locked out of. And sometimes this happens where people will work with some shady website designer, hoster, etc., or just loses contact with somebody and has no way to get into their website. You can take that website, you can completely clone it, import it into 10Web, and re-access it again, and to be able to just continue on with your business. You can also model all sorts of designs. Now, of course, there are implications for this, being mindful of things like copyrights and so forth you need to be aware of. But that's not really my place to state all of that stuff. You need to look into legalities and so forth on that. But the point is that we can model structure and change things, because that's kind of how things are done online. You look at structures that work, that you like, you model them, you create similar websites, and you make it your own. And that's kind of what we're trying to do here. So I'm going to go to a website, for example, Astra. They have really good site templates for WordPress. And we can scroll through here and we can just see all these different types of designs. Okay, I'm going to do this with a free one just so you could see how it works. So let's say we like this organic store, for example. Let's go ahead and click the live preview. That's going to open us up into the domain. And as we scroll through here, we see the layout. We say, okay, I really like this. It's very clean. Lots of good product presentation with pricing and so forth in here. Awesome. I like it. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab that URL. Okay, and then what we can do is copy that. We're going to go back over here to our AI Builder. Now, in the AI Builder, what we can do here is click on this section that says Add a New Page, and we're going to go into AI Recreation. So I'm going to click on that. Let's insert the page title. I'm just going to call that home, and I am going to drop that URL in there. Now you're going to see the little spinner. It's going to verify that it's going to pull it from there, and we're going to click this recreate button. Now this is going to go ahead and process. I'm going to pause this for a second, and then we'll be back when it goes live. Okay, so it looks like that was generated properly, so we're going to hit the preview and edit button. Now what that's going to do is to push it into live mode, and we see that the Elementor widgets are loading, and there is our page. So of course it's going to look a little distorted with the nav bar open, so I'm going to close this out, and that's what we get. As you can see, it is a virtual replica of exactly the template that we found. This is so cool, it's unbelievable. You will see that certain things here will say add a page because these are links that are populated, which we don't have pages for those yet. But everything else is exactly how it was on the template. So just jumping back over here, that's what the top looks like with our menu. And let's go to our recreated version. The same. We just need to get our added pages in there, which we don't have yet. But that is absolutely beautiful. And you see how simple that is? And everything is going to be editable. So if we click on this section here, we actually have to open that real quick, sorry. We'll click on that, and we see all of our, in our navigator bar here, all of our containers with our elements. We can absolutely go in here and modify everything. Either over here on this section, I can type directly in here, and say, hey there, for example, or I can come over here, and this is a little bit easier for styling and making sure we're doing the right things, okay? So, but we've got our buttons, we can modify everything, change all our pictures out, blah, blah, blah. We could also add in additional widgets if we want to, so we can come back over here. Actually, I click on the wrong one there. So we can find any of these additional widgets just like we have in Elementor. We can drag and drop these things wherever we want, okay? But for the most part, you want to try to find a template or a design that you really like that you have to do the least amount of modifications for, but that's just me. So it is a fantastic way to do this. So we can essentially grab any kind of design that we want and pull that in here, and we can just change those elements to make it ours. And that is how quickly you can actually create something with the AI Builder. It is absolutely magical. Now, an important thing to mention, as we discussed, we don't have those other pages designed yet. What we did is we recreated a home page. So it will not pull an entire website, obviously. So what we have to do is we have to go through and add those extra pages in. And from there, of course, we would go one by one and go through those pages, everything, groceries, juice, etc. Take a look at this structure. So this structure will need to be imported as well. And that way we'll get all of our pages where we want them. Okay, so all the additional information here, headers, footers, etc., those information sliders, if you have imported slides, will pop up underneath these tabs. But this is how insanely simple it is to import a site with the AI Builder. Super, super powerful. Okay, and so when it's actually time to go in and to edit posts and so forth, obviously we're not going to be able to do it from here, so we can go inside to the actual WordPress dashboard. And this is where it's important to understand that, again, what you're doing here is essentially using WordPress. So you can see here, as I pushed into that area, we're right into a usual WordPress dashboard. As we go over here, we see that we've got the 10 Web Booster, AI Assistant, etc. So, but everything else is pretty standard issue here. So if we want to go inside and create a post, we can click on that. And I had already created the standard page here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this. And you can see inside that we can edit here, obviously, with the WordPress style editor, or we can go inside and edit with Elementor. And when we click on that, that's going to take us right back to our Elementor screen here. So we can go back through here. We have our template, right? You can see here that we've got the templated logo and so forth in here, which we obviously would be changing. But everything else is essentially the same. And we can go inside here and we can edit all of our widgets and design all of our posts with the navigator. So again, we've got those two different screens to go back and forth to. Obviously, we have a button here. We can go right back into the 10 Web dashboard again and re-access the site information which we just had. So it's very easy to navigate back and forth within the system so that you can optimize your website, create posts, and basically have the best of both worlds in terms of having all this front-end information here and then jump inside of the website as necessary. All right, so that's it for this video. I really hope you take advantage of the offer to sign up for 10Web. Make sure you use the discount code below that's included in the description for a special offer to get rolling with this fabulous platform. And of course, as always, if you like these videos, make sure you give me a thumbs up, comment below, let me know what you think. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you get notifications of all new upcoming videos. And of course, click that little bell that says notify. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.